Now, we'll stick to Sri Lankan Airlines for a moment because we saw the president had met the chairman and the board of the airline along with the unions, and I read in the press release, he had said something to the effect that the government will make all sacrifices to ensure that the Sri Lankan Airlines remains a state-owned entity and succeed, which means there is no opportunity for private investments to come into Sri Lankan Airlines. So taxpayers will have to ensure that this airline continues to function. Now, we saw in the papers yesterday, a lot of young women are lining up for cabin crew positions. Some 12,000 young women had applied, we saw. But you know that we already have 975 of them, and we spend 9 billion rupees a year. And we operate 45 routes. Of the 45 routes, you know, Sri Lankan Airlines financial accounts have been released only a couple of weeks ago for the last year, ending 31 March. Out of the 45 routes, they say 31 routes are making losses. 31, right? So, as a matter of fact, as at 25 March 31st, Sri Lankan Airlines loss had increased by 143% to 3.4 billion. This is while fuel costs had come down by a staggering 23.5 billion, right? And but interestingly and unfortunately, passenger revenue had come down by 40 billion rupees. Coming back to the Sri Lankan Airlines, they are saying, look, we will make these payments, and who will underwrite that risk? If Sri Lankan Airlines goes through this stress test, I don't know what kind of premium it will have to pay to the government to borrow or to settle this loan. And I honestly don't think that the creditors will agree to let Sri Lankan Airlines just undertake this responsibility without the government coming in. So ultimately it is going to come back on the state itself. So therefore, it is double jeopardy because we can't pay the premium, in my view. If the government is not going to bring in private investment and going to use taxpayer money for Sri Lankan Airlines, what is the plan for Sri Lankan Airlines, given it is going to be run by us, by our taxpayer money? One is downsize the airline. That is one option that has been proposed. One is to expand the airline. So, on the one hand, you are saying that we are going to go back to the Public Debt Management Act, repealing the Foreign Loans Act, which means that the government has to give guarantees for the SOEs to borrow in the international markets. But to do that, you are unable to pay those premiums, so therefore, you are not going to be able to get the investment.